Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. That you are a slave. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
When this country belatedly recognized the wrongs of slavery, there were those who dug in their heels and said, slow down.
Yeah.
It's too early. Let's wait.
When we hear this,
bad enough.
yeah, whatever. When we hear this stuff, we don't buy it anymore. We, the people, are thinking, hey, when has hurry up and just do it ever been the right strategy for something this big? You go into a car dealership and he says to you, buy it, you got to buy it now, don't leave the lot, you got to buy it now. Do you buy it? No, only stupid people do. It must be started now, but it won't actually start for 4 years? What? We pay the taxes, but it won't start for 4 years. Wait a minute. Then why don't we have the time to make it right? Why don't we make sure it's right? Why don't we make sure that there's nothing funny going on here? And then once we're finished, if we decide to, we could still enact it by 2013. No. Instead, don't think, don't ask, don't wait another second. Call now. This plan was drafted in federal prison back in 2006. It is a plan that with the healthcare part of it will cost over $1 trillion plus. But somehow or another, it's free. It adds 40 million patients and no doctors, but somehow or another, it won't ration care. It cuts Medicare benefits, but no elderly suffer. It adds fees, taxes, and bureaucracy, yet nobody seems to pay. And if you believe that, you'll believe then that we've saved or created 200 million jobs this week alone? And that the temperature on the earth is so hot right now that it's cold, and that the Atlantic Ocean is boiling. And despite the fact that we didn't even have one this year, hurricanes are more powerful, intense, and frequent than ever before. Don't think about any of this. Don't. Just act right now. You know what? It doesn't make sense if you stop and think. It only makes sense to people who will tell you to fly to the other side of the earth for medical care, but then in the same breath tell people you got to stop flying because the earth has a temperature. Explain. The same people who think that terrorists should be understood and tried in New York courtrooms, but Marines should be tried by the military. That terrorists who mutilate, burn bodies, and hang them from bridges should be believed over our Navy SEALs. Or that you can print all the money you want because hyperinflation would be good. I mean, we could pay off the debt that way, and everybody would have more money in their pockets. We have to keep spending our way out of this debt. Don't think. Just do it. Right now, don't think. The only thing that this administration, these people in Washington now want to hold off on and sit, think, mull it over, be careful, chew on it a bit. Let me stew, simmer, settle on this. The only thing is getting help to our troops in Afghanistan. Listen to your gut, America. Something is very wrong.
Well, the whole Federal Reserve System isn't working. Let's look at the facts once again. Following 9/11, Alan Greenspan, the former Fed chairman, began to lower interest rates. 46-year lows and created the real estate and credit crisis bubble. And now Ben Bernanke is creating the bailout bubble, which is going to dwarf the real estate and credit crisis bubble. The whole Federal Reserve System has no place in American government. It's against the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 5 of the Constitution clearly states that Congress has a sole authority to print and regulate the supply of money. And now it's in the hands of the Federal Reserve gang.
Okay. Then taking on your point about getting rid of the whole Federal Reserve, if you get rid of it, what's the fallout from that? And how do you address the fallout?
Well, the fallout's going to happen anyway. The fallout's the dollar. They're devaluing the dollar. They're making it more expensive for Americans to live and lowering our quality of life. A corrupt system is failing and it needs to fail. You can't keep bailing out the big guys who are the same gang, the Wall Street gang. And so it's all tied together. No, the system is failing. You can't paper it over it by printing phantom money out of thin air, backed by nothing, and producing practically nothing.
We're going to regulate every aspect of American life. This is, if the EPA now has in its power, and perhaps it will enact it over time, to intrude into every aspect of American life. I mean, essentially what it can do is to regulate emissions from any institution, any enterprise, any apartment block that emits more than 250 tons of CO2 in a year, which is a very low level. It says it's going to raise that much higher, but it doesn't have the authority to actually raise it. So it can regulate every aspect of American life. It really is what Václav Klaus, the president of the Czech Republic, said. This is environmentalism is a new socialism. It's a way for the feds, for the best and the brightest in the federal government to regulate all aspects of life. It used to be in the name of socialism, which was social equality. Now it's in the name of the planet. It's a smart strategy on the part of the left, but it is a hell of a way to do it. If you want to do it, at least you do it by the consensus of Congress. If you do it by regulation, there is going to be a revolution on the administration's hands.
Look, Glenn, the truth of the matter is those numbers underestimate how strong it is. Over half the people, 57%, almost 60%, say we should get rid of everybody in Congress. And the thing that is stunning to me, in a democracy, a government of, by, and for the people, is that 71% of the American people in the Rasmussen poll admit to being angry at the federal government. Half, almost 46%, almost half, say they are very angry. Now, among the political class, as Rasmussen classifies them, 6% are angry at the federal government. Among ordinary mainstream America, it's 82%. Understand what's happening. In all my life, and I've been studying public opinion since I was 16 years old, and I've never seen anything, the level of anger, sustained anger, that exists in this country as it does now.
My question to you, you said you've never seen so much anger in all of your political life. How does this end, Pat?
Well, let me just say, what's happening to the American people, when you watch the health care, and let's understand what it is, something you pay for now, and you may get the benefits in 2014, but no one tells you this. What's happening with cap and trade, which is gangster politics, basically, putting a gun to the Congress's head. And for the Congress, it's the line from Animal House, have you no respect for yourself? The question here is, the American people understand this. I've never seen a fear that exists that our future is disappearing. And I have a message for the people in Washington, in both parties. The American people are coming, and they're coming for you.
What does that mean? I mean, I think people really feel that their republic is at the end. It's at the brink.
Is at stake. Let me tell you something. Democrats, Republicans, it has nothing to do with Americans feel that the future is slipping away for their children, that they're losing the future.
But Pat,
that they feel
you
like
know this. You know this, and
I. Sense of people wanting to do something.
You know this, and I know this. There are polls that say that. We've got about 20 seconds. How come they don't see it, or do they not care?
Well, they don't care. They don't think they have to. They think the American people are sheep that they can run over. And that's the issue that's going to get tested. They have nothing but contempt for the very people they are supposed to represent in the greatest nation on earth. They don't care. They don't think they have to. They think the American people are sheep that they can run over.
You called down the thunder. Well, now you got it. You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!